Imagine a world where a single flower could buy a house, where fortunes were made and lost overnight. This wasn't fantasy. It was the Dutch Golden Age, and it was called Tulip Mania. In the early 1600s, the Netherlands was booming. Trade, art, and banking flourished, and the Dutch were the richest people in Europe. But amid this wealth, a strange obsession emerged: tulips. Not just for gardens or decoration, these rare flowers became a commodity, a status symbol, and eventually, money. Certain tulips were incredibly rare. Varieties with unique streaks or patterns were considered priceless. A single bulb could cost more than a skilled worker's annual salary. Soon, people weren't just buying tulips to grow them, they were buying them to resell at higher prices. Speculators entered the market. Bakers, blacksmiths, even students, everyone wanted a piece of the tulip trade. It was the first recorded financial bubble, centuries before the stock market as we know it. Tulips were mostly sold through futures contracts. Buyers agreed to purchase a bulb months in advance at a set price. If prices kept rising, these contracts were worth a fortune, sometimes 10 times the price of a house. But if prices dropped, you were left with a contract you couldn't pay for, and the bulbs themselves were worthless once the bloom faded. Entire communities were gambling on flowers. Banks weren't involved, governments didn't intervene. It was wild, speculative chaos. At the height of the mania in 1637, tulip bulbs sold for prices that sound absurd today. One rare bulb could buy a mansion in Amsterdam. A single tulip contract could pay for a luxury carriage. People sold land, houses, and possessions just to buy bulbs. And still, the market seemed unstoppable. And then, suddenly, it all collapsed. In February 1637, buyers stopped showing up at auctions. Prices plummeted. Contracts became worthless. Merchants who borrowed heavily lost everything. Families went bankrupt. What was once considered the ultimate investment turned into a devastating financial disaster. Tulip Mania was more than a curiosity, it was a warning. 1. Speculative bubbles can happen anywhere. People chase profit without understanding value. 2. Scarcity drives obsession. Rare goods can be overvalued. 3. No market is immune. Even in a booming economy, a bubble can burst. Modern economists still study tulip mania as an early example of irrational exuberance, a reminder that human psychology often drives markets more than logic. The tulip craze left a lasting mark on Dutch culture. Tulips remained a symbol of wealth and beauty, but also a cautionary tale. Even today, economists, artists, and historians refer to tulip mania as the first great financial bubble, proof that humans will always find ways to turn desire into money. So next time you buy flowers or invest in something new and exciting, remember the Dutch of the 1600s. They learned the hard way that when a flower becomes money, it might not last. Tulip mania, beauty, greed, and the fleeting value of obsession.